Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutation to the elect. My name is Aina. The title of this video is Pope Leo offers Vatican to Putin, Zelensky for talks. Right. So this is going to prophecy. Basically, the new Pope has offered, the Vatican as a place of a neutral meeting for peace talks between President Putin and President Zelensky, which is no longer president because his time as president has been up, and they actually need a new election to take place. So he's illegally, under operating in Ukraine, under martial law and a wartime president and all of that, So anyway, Pope Leo offered Vatican to Putin, Zelensky for talks. Let's see what it's talking about. I don't know if this is talking about this. Let's check it out.
Putin made a mistake by sending a. I think Putin made a mistake by sending a low-level delegation with this historian leading that delegation, who was also there in the talks in 2022. The ball is clearly in his part of the field now, in his court. He has to play ball. He has to be serious about wanting peace. So I think all the pressure is now on Putin. He realizes this. I know him very well. We did a lot of negotiations between when I was Prime Minister of the Netherlands. He knows extremely well that the ball is in his court, that he is in trouble, that he made a big mistake by sending this low-level delegation. And I think it is very good that the Ukrainians have come to the table. They have sent a delegation which is really willing to negotiate a ceasefire, etc. I'm so happy about the role the US is playing. It is really important.
Right, and we can warn you every day that these devils are embedded with each other. Right, the scriptures, like what I'm about to go into, tells us that they all have come together to go to war with Russia. Basically because they think this is a step forward to, expand their territory, take over the world or, whatnot. And what you have to understand that Esau was given the blessing and the fatness of the earth, and the Russians are Edomites, right? So basically all Edomites control the world. That's the point. But America, right, at the hand of the Amalekites, a tribe of Esau, right, the individuals in the land of Israel, the JOOs, right? They're pushing and they're going hard for, whatever reason, they want to own everything to themselves, pretty much. So anyway, that's what's happening here. I'm gonna get the precepts for you. It says Pope Leo. Let me see what this is talking about right here. (14). All right, Pope Leo 14 intends to offer the Vatican to Ukrainian President Zelensky and Russian President Vladimir Putin as a location for a bilateral Russian-Ukraine meeting, one of his top officials said. Vatican Secretary of State Cardinal Pietro made the comments to reporters on Friday morning, according to the Italian newspaper La Stampa, right? Ireland called the debacle around the Istanbul talks tragic because we hope that a process could be started, perhaps slow, but with a peaceful solution to the conflict. And instead, we are back at the beginning, right? And the scriptures tell you clearly, not to trust these devils because, they don't want peace anyway. They don't want peace. It's all lies. They want Putin to submit, right? And we are the prophets and just, going into these things because the scriptures say in Ezekiel 38 that Putin, the Most High will use Gog, right, which is Russia, to destroy Babylon the Great in Israel because it's the purpose of Yahweh to do that. It's prophesied that Babylon the Great will be destroyed. All right, so let me get this right here. I believe it's this. Actually, forgot what I was looking for. Oh. It says, Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and 10, it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away, right? And we, according, to the information, the knowledge that we have, the wisdom, we understand that these devils are, coming humbly, crouching, trying to, deceive Putin. Because what we got here is what says Armageddon, right? Which is was it the mountain of troops, right? Because that's what's going to take place over in the Levant region. So Revelation 16 and 13, it says, and I saw three unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. So we understand that what, you know, America is that beast and that dragon, coming back from the ancient Roman Empire. So it says the beast from the sea. Revelation 13:1, it says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was like unto the feet of a bear. Right? You can go back to Daniel chapter 2 and Daniel chapter 7. It goes back to the four beasts that will rule the planet Earth. Right? You have the Babylonian, the Medo-Persians, right? Then the Greeks, and then Rome, right? So this leopard here will go back to the Greeks. It's the saying that they say that civilization started with the Greeks, So it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was like as the feet of a bear, right? And this bear goes into Russia, right? And the feet also represent the end of a thing, and basically Russia is going to be the end of America, Babylon the Great. It says in his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Right, so you can see how these things are like attacking each other. Basically, you get the leopard, which is the same as the Greek Empire, and you have the bear, which is the same as the Russian Empire, and it represents the end. The feet represents the end, right? Which is the bear, which is Russia, and then you have the leopard, which goes back to the Greek Empire, right? And that's pretty much when they say civilization started. So continuing on, it says, in his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who was like unto the beast, who was able to make war with him, right? So this deadly wound was what? The fall of the Roman Empire. Like I said, going back to the Daniel 2nd chapter, Daniel 7th chapter, the Roman Empire will be the last empire, right? And what do we have now? The revised Roman Empire, which is America. It says, and they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who was like unto the beast, who was able to make war with him, right? Because what, the Iron Age, using tools, that's what Rome was known for, It says, and there was unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months, which is a period of time, a space. We'll grab that real quick. I believe it's the 350-year period. Right, even up now to this point though, right? Because we have the revised Roman Empire through America, right? So they're pretty much at an end now, and just that's what we've been prophesying on. So, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. It says, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Yahweh, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven, right? And that's what Esau Edom did. Right, so I broke this down before. I just went into a little bit, let you know this represents, the beast and the dragon. The dragon would be Rome, of course, and the beast is NATO, EU, and America's structure. So let me go back over here. Revelation 16 and 13. It says, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. Now the dragon would be, the Roman Empire. right? And then and out of the mouth of the beast will be NATO, EU. So, and we understand that what the dragon brought forth, America, right? And America brought forth the NATO EU, right? And then it says out of the mouth of the false prophet, and the false prophet represents the Roman Catholic Church or the Vatican, you know. So that's what it's going into, Lord, when you understand that. It says, for they are the spirits of devils, working miracles which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahweh Almighty. So, this is exactly what Esau came to do. You can grab this. All right. So Revelation 21, Satan bound. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. This dragon is going into the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire fell for about 1,000 years. And during that time, the Byzantine Empire was around, right? When the so-called black man ruled, right? Which is history they tried to hide. Says this angel, so it says, and cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. Right. So he's been loosed that little season up until now, a 350-year period, and pretty much continuing on until now. And now we're at the end of basically the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire revised through the Renaissance. So 1,000 years, and then you jump down here to verse 7 where it says Satan freed and doomed. So he was bound up, now he's freed. It says, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is at the sand of the sea. So Gog is Russia, and they went out to deceive the nations, and they're continuing to do that, So, and that's why I brought this out, because this dude, Pope, the new Pope that just, got into his position, is talking about, bringing on peace talks between Putin and Zelensky, but it's all BS, right? And deceiving, right? They don't really want peace. The scriptures say they will gather them together to battle for war, and that's what's happening, right? They're making it look good for the people, but really, war is in their heart. So read this again, Revelation 16 and 13. It says, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the world to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahweh Almighty. So this is exactly what they're doing. Let me grab this real quick. 2 Thessalonians 2. So what it says, man of lawlessness being revealed. So anyway, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 5, it says, remember ye not, right? And that man of lawlessness is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, right? Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So basically, Yahweh kind of hid Esau, Edom, for a period of time. His work was in secret. But now it's all coming out to the forefront, right? It says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, right? And that's what we're doing, right? We're proclaiming what Isaiah 58 verse 1 says, cry loud, spare not, right? And that's what we're doing in the chief concourse, of Babylon the Great, the World Wide Web, the streets, all over. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. See, this is what Esau came to do. And with all deceitfulness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. So, and Esau is deceiving all the people that were meant to be deceived, right? Because they didn't come to the knowledge of the truth. That's what he's talking about. So he's gonna, fulfill exactly what he's called to fulfill to do, right? That's why the scriptures say 2/3 of our people will be done away with, and the 1/3, the Most High Yahweh will bring to the fire, right? That's in Zechariah, 13. right? Down at the last few verses. So Revelation 16 and 14 again says, "For they are the spirits of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world to gather them to the battle of that great day of Yahweh Almighty." It says, "Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame." So that's why we put on a new man, return back to the Lord, rehearse the righteous acts, get this wisdom and this knowledge and this understanding, right? That's our garments here in these last days, this book, the Bible. Right, that we may know what's going on. The scriptures say, "Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." That's how I can tell you boldly that these devils are lying about trying to have peace talks. Right? It says Revelation 16 and 16. It says, "And he gathered them together in a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon, right, which is Mountain of Troops, right, and that's over there in that Levant region, right? The desert, Saudi desert, whatever the case may be, over there by the JOOs. That area right there is where World War III will be taking place. And as you can see in today's news, it's hot and popping over there. Right. So let me grab these right here. This is Revelations 19 and 9. It says, "And he saith unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he saith unto me, These are the true saints of Yahweh. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy." Right. So, believing in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai allows you to prophesy. Right. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm giving you that warning to let you know that these devils are moving. They're trying to have some peace talks, but really, they don't want peace. They want to go to war. Now, the who knows really, why they want to go to war. The scriptures say they will go to war, but this is Psalm 49:11. It says, "For their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names." Now, this wicked, Esau, Edom, and that of basically America, Babylon the Great, right? They're pushing hard to basically control all areas. That's what Habakkuk tells us, Habakkuk 2, it says, "Yeah, also," Habakkuk 2 and 5. Start at Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yeah, also because he transgresseth by wine." It says, "He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." So that's exactly what the devil is trying to do, gather all nations and heap unto him all people. But we know what? That the banking elites, the JOOs, run and control the world. So these are the individuals that's trying to do that, right? Basically hoarding the blessing that they receive. Esau Edom received the blessing of the fatness of the earth, right? And that was all evil, right? Every little everyday American Edomite you see, they should be living their best life here. But the Amalekites have stolen the blessing, and then took it away, from their brothers, or whatnot. So that's what we see happening here in these last days. This is John 21:15. It says, "So when he had dined, Yahweh said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto me, Feed my lambs. He said to him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He said unto him, Feed my sheep. He said unto him the third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he said unto him the third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Yahweh said unto him, Feed my sheep." Right, and that's exactly what we're called to do, feed the sheep and one of the lambs, This is Ezekiel 3 and 16. It says, "And it came to pass at the end of 7 days that the word of the Yahweh was saying, Son of man, have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word of my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand." So that's the point. We're giving you warning. to repent because the days draw nigh, right, where the Lord is beginning to visit this place, and pretty soon He's going to destroy Babylon the Great completely, right? So, Lord willing, you're edified from the lesson. This is just in the news. The title says it all. Pope Leo offers Vatican to Putin and Zelensky for talks. You can look it up, search it up, read if you want. With that, I'll say Shalom to the elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.